I have never supported the President's Recovery Act, all right, the stimulus. No time, nowhere, no how have I supported the President's stimulus. I think there is need for economic stimulus. Americans have lost about $11 trillion in net worth, and government can help make that up in a very difficult time.
The issue of abortion. Has he flip-flopped on abortion?
I will preserve and protect a woman's right to choose.
The right next step in the fight to preserve the sanctity of life is to see Roe v. Wade overturned.
He was pro-choice, then he's pro-life.
Well, that's what we did in Massachusetts, and that is we put together an exchange, and the president's copying that idea. I'm glad to hear that. Obamacare is bad news, and if I'm president of the United States, I will repeal it.
He was pro-gun control. Then he becomes a lifetime member of the NRA.
Mitt Romney is a complete hypocrite and phony.
I just signed a piece of legislation extending the ban on certain assault weapons. I do not support any new legislation of an assault weapon ban nature. But I believe the world is getting warmer. I believe that humans contribute to that. My view is that we don't know what's causing climate change on this planet.
Mitt Romney's reputation as a flip-flopper who changes position because of political expedience.
If Republicans didn't like Mitt Romney's position on the so-called union-busting proposal in Ohio, all they had to do is wait one day before he changed it.
I'm not speaking about the particular ballot issues.
But by today, Romney had a different answer.
I fully support Governor Kasich's, I think it's called Question 2 in Ohio.
He's changed his position on a number of issues.
I don't think I've ever hired an illegal in my life. We hired a lawn company to mow our lawn, and they had illegal immigrants that were working there. To get that kind of money, you've got to cozy up as an incumbent to all of the special interest groups who can go out and raise money for you from their members. And that kind of relationship has an influence on the way you're going to vote.
Remember earlier this year how Romney got $1 million donation from an organization that just suddenly ceased to exist the next day?
It's really someone wanting to give Romney the money while staying in the shadows.
A good chunk of his funds came from his buddies on Wall Street, like Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and Bank of America.
To get that kind of money, you've got to cozy up as an incumbent to all of the special interest groups who can go out and raise money for you from their members. That kind of relationship has an influence on the way you're going to vote. But look, I'm not going to spend my time going after Ben Bernanke.
Romney required Ryan to provide him much more information than he's providing the taxpayers and the voters. Why should we be entitled to less information about Mitt Romney than Mitt Romney required of Paul Ryan?
During the McCain vetting process, you turned over 23 years, which you had at the ready because, to quote you, you're something of a pack rat.
There's obviously something there, because if there was nothing there, he would say, have at it. So there's obviously something there that compromises what he said in the past.
Back home. While in London, Romney reiterated he will release 2 years and 2 years only of his taxes.
Was there ever any year when you paid lower than the 13.9%?
Well, I haven't calculated that. I'm happy to go back and look, but my view is I have paid all the taxes required by law. I don't pay more than are legally due. And frankly, if I had paid more than are legally due, I don't think I'd be qualified to become president. I think people would want me to follow the law and pay only what the tax code requires.
Romney's tax returns are raising an interesting question. Why did he pay more than he had to?
Is Mr. Romney actually making himself disqualified for president? Mitt Romney was in Vegas when he revealed last year's taxes. Income of $13.7 million, nearly all from selling stocks and dividends. Taxes paid, just less than $2 million. A tax rate of just over 14%. But to get to that rate, Romney had to do something he told us he doesn't do.
I don't pay more than are legally due. And frankly, if I had paid more than are legally due, I don't think I'd be qualified to become president.
But last year, he did exactly that, paying an extra $500,000 in taxes he didn't know. Why? So he could stick to his statement that he's never paid less than a 13% tax rate. To Romney's taxes, if he had actually claimed all the deductions available to him, his tax rate would have been just over 10%.
This is a three-act trilogy, right? Act one is he makes this promise, which it's unclear whether he could keep. Act two is he pays, I think it's about an extra $225,000, which is a lot of money to people, not that much money to Mitt Romney, to make that statement true. Here's my favorite. He can file an amendment to the return after the election in which he claims that extra $1.6 million deduction and get the money back.
Flip-flop Mitt. The money he has that he didn't inherit is what he made as a private equity mogul, shutting down companies, liquidating their assets, and firing their American workers.
You just can't trust a word he says. I have never seen a guy change his positions on so many things so fast.
He physically, personality-wise, comes across as if he was designed by East German scientists to be the perfect android politician.
I thought it was such a disastrous interview for Mitt Romney.
Romney can't win. He's dead in the water.
Do you really want this cat to be president? If you're looking for someone who's never changed any positions on any policies, then I'm not your guy. I'm not your guy.
I think people understand that I'm a man of steadiness and constancy.
I think you'll find that I've been as consistent as human beings can be. There are a lot of reasons not to elect me. I'd like to ask you to just pass this message along to a friend. Thanks so much.